Welcome to Classified Courage. Today, you will hear a story that will ignite your pride, stir your heart, and remind you that courage doesn't always shout. Sometimes, it sits quietly in the corner of a crowded room. The mess hall was alive with noise that afternoon. Boots clanged against the metal floor. Trays slammed down on long tables. Laughter ricocheted off the steel walls like echoes of battle. The air smelled of burnt coffee, sweat, and fatigue, the familiar perfume of training grounds. New recruits crowded the tables, nursing bruises from drills, sharing exaggerated war stories that only rookies could tell. Every laugh was a mixture of relief and exhaustion. Every face carried the same dream: to serve, to belong, to prove they were worthy. In the farthest corner of that hall sat a woman, quiet, still, unnoticed. Her name was Harper. She looked young, mid-20s perhaps. Her uniform was clean but plain, her hair tied back in a simple braid. No ribbons, no special markings, no clue to what lay behind her calm eyes. To anyone watching, she was just another soldier. But her eyes, they told a different story. There was something ancient in them, something worn and heavy. Nobody paid her any mind when she entered. No one saluted. No one whispered her name. She was invisible, but soon, the silence around her would become the loudest roar of respect this base had ever known. At a nearby table, a group of soldiers laughed boisterously, thumping each other on the back. Among them was Corporal Jensen, sharp-jawed, arrogant, and loud. He was the kind of recruit who measured strength by how hard he could shout. When his eyes caught Harper sitting alone, he sneered. "Look at her," he said. "Probably failed her shooting test. Bet she couldn't lift a rifle if her life depended on it." His friends burst out laughing. Their voices filled the hall, sharp and mocking. Harper didn't react. She took another quiet bite of her food, her expression unchanged, her composure unbroken. Another soldier nudged Jensen. "Hey, go talk to her, man. Maybe she got lost on her way to the kitchen." The table roared again. Jensen, feeding on the laughter, stood up. His boots struck the floor like thunder. He swaggered toward Harper's table, every step dripping with misplaced confidence. "Hey," he barked. "This seat taken." Harper looked up, calm and polite. "No, go ahead." He dropped down across from her, leaning forward, trying to read her. "You look too soft to be here." That word, soft, hit Harper like an echo from the past. She'd heard it before, from bullies, from skeptics, from those who believed kindness and courage couldn't live in the same heart. But Harper didn't answer. She simply looked at him, quiet as a mountain before a storm. "You sure you belong here?" Jensen smirked. "Maybe you took a wrong turn. The kitchen's the other way." Snickers rolled through the hall. Heads turned. Harper set down her fork, wiped her mouth, and spoke evenly. "I'm here to serve." The room quieted for a moment, but Jensen just scoffed. "Serve, please. You wouldn't last a mile." Someone shouted from the back, "Hey Jensen. Challenge her to the obstacle course." The crowd erupted again. Jensen slammed his tray down. "Yeah, let's go, princess. Let's see if you're military material." Harper looked at him, unflinching. Then she stood. The room froze. There was something in her stance. Not defiance, not anger, but power. Quiet, measured, dangerous power. They walked out to the training yard. The sun hung high, glaring down on a maze of metal bars, rope climbs, and walls. The air shimmered with heat. Soldiers gathered around, forming a wide circle. Jensen stretched, rolling his shoulders. "Try to keep up," he taunted. The whistle blew. Jensen bolted forward, charging like a bull. The crowd cheered. Harper didn't rush. She moved like a shadow, precise, fluid, composed. Halfway through, Jensen hit the mud pit and slipped hard, splattering dirt all over himself. The crowd gasped. Harper, meanwhile, glided over the same patch as if gravity had made an exception for her. She scaled the rope wall with clean, efficient strength. She vaulted every obstacle without hesitation. Her movements were quiet but lethal, like poetry written in motion. By the time Jensen reached the final climb, wheezing, Harper was already descending on the other side. The whistle blew again. Silence followed. Jensen stood there, panting, disbelief painted across his face. What kind of training did you have?" he gasped. Before Harper could answer, A commanding voice shattered the stillness. Attention! Every recruit snapped to attention as a high-ranking general marched into the yard, his medals glinting in the sun. The crowd stiffened, but Harper didn't move, not because she refused, because the general stopped right in front of her, and saluted her first. The world froze. "You shouldn't be doing beginner drills, Lieutenant Commander Harper," he said, his voice carrying across the stunned crowd. Mouths fell open. "Lieutenant Commander." The general turned, eyes hard. "You idiots have no idea who stands before you. This woman is a Navy SEAL, one of the most decorated operatives in modern history. She's completed missions you'll never even read about. She's saved soldiers who never knew her name." The recruits stared, stunned into silence. Jensen's face went pale. The laughter died in his throat. The general's voice softened, filled with respect. "She carries scars you can't see. She's buried comrades whose names you'll never know. And yet she walks among you without demand, without ego. Learn from that." Harper looked away, blinking fast. The words hit something deep within her. Jensen stepped forward, trembling. "Ma'am, I didn't know." Harper's voice was gentle but firm. "Then start knowing. Respect everyone around you. You never know what battles they've fought just to stand here." The general nodded approvingly, but before he could speak again, an alarm blared across the base. "Emergency. Incoming wounded from field operations. All available personnel report to the medical bay immediately." Without hesitation, Harper sprinted. Her boots hit the floor in perfect rhythm. Her focus sharpened like a blade. The recruits followed, still stunned by what they'd learned, trying desperately to keep pace. Inside the medical bay, chaos reigned. Blood streaked the floor. Soldiers groaned in pain. Doctors shouted over one another. Harper didn't wait for instructions. She dropped to her knees beside the first wounded soldier, a young private clutching his leg, shrapnel embedded deep. "Stay with me," she said softly, pressing firm pressure against the wound. Her voice was steady, comforting, the voice of someone who'd seen the worst and refused to let it win. She moved from one soldier to the next, her uniform stained with crimson. She gave orders, calmed panic, and performed triage like someone who had done this 100 times before. For 2 relentless hours, she worked without rest. She saved 3 soldiers with her own hands. When it was over, the room went quiet. Only the hum of machines remained. The recruits who had once mocked her now watched in silence, wide-eyed, speechless, humbled. That night, the mess hall was different. No laughter, no bravado, just quiet respect. When Harper walked in, soldiers stood instinctively. No orders, no words, just acknowledgement. Jensen approached her again, his pride long gone. "Lieutenant Commander," he said quietly, "I'm sorry, I was foolish." Harper gave a faint smile. "You were young, now you're wiser." He nodded, emotion catching in his throat. "Thank you, for showing me what real strength looks like." Harper sat down with her meal, cold, untouched since earlier. But this time, she wasn't alone. Soldiers sat around her, silent but present, each carrying a new understanding of respect. One of them whispered, "You saved my friend today." Harper nodded. "That's what family does." Another murmured, "The military, it's not just ranks and medals, is it?" Harper's eyes softened. "No, it's trust. It's loyalty. It's a promise you carry, to protect the person next to you, no matter what." The mess hall felt different now. The air that once buzzed with arrogance now pulsed with unity. The general entered quietly. He stopped beside Harper and saluted again. "Commander, today you reminded them what real greatness looks like." Harper shook her head. "No, sir. They reminded me why I fight." The general smiled faintly. "Take pride, Harper. You are a warrior with a heart." Later that night, the base was still. The moon cast a silver glow over the courtyard. Harper walked out alone, her shadow stretching long behind her. From behind, Jensen called out softly, "Commander, where did you learn it?" The strength, the calm, the compassion. She turned slightly, her face half lit by moonlight. "I learned from those I lost," she said quietly. The words hung in the air like a prayer. The courtyard fell silent. Everyone who heard them understood. The strongest warriors often carry the deepest grief. Harper looked up at the stars, her lips barely moving. "Watch over them," she whispered. The night breeze carried her words into the darkness. For all her strength, Harper was still human. Still healing. Still remembering. Because courage isn't always loud. Sometimes, it whispers. It doesn't seek attention or applause. It sits quietly in the corner, carrying the invisible weight of duty and sacrifice. But when the world finally sees it, respect rises like a silent salute. As Harper walked away, her boots echoed softly across the base. Tomorrow would bring new battles, new recruits, new chances to protect. But tonight, for the first time in years, she felt something rare: peace. Not because of her rank, not because of her medals, but because she was finally seen, not as a soldier, but as a human being with courage carved deep into her soul. And that was enough. Thank you for watching Classified Courage. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and join us again for more true stories of bravery, humanity, and the power of quiet strength.